There is specific and quite recognizable Russian submachine gun called PP-19 Vitiaz, descendant of even more famous Bison. And like with most popular SMGs, usually there is a civilian semi-auto version as well. You guys over in the US have your own civilian version of Vitiaz. You call it KP9 and KR9, and that's what you care about. From videos I watched, KP9 is a perfect clone, but it's still American-made firearm. So today I want to show you the real Russian civilian version of PP9 manufactured by the same company, former Izhmash, now bearing the name of Mikhail Kalashnikov. This is the real Saiga-9, 16-inch barrel, 9mm Luger carbine, designed for civilian market in Russia. I will discuss some backstory first. If you prefer to go straight to weapon review, please use chapter functionality to go there. In recent years, this civilian model became known in the gaming world because of its appearance in masochistic torture simulator called Escape from Nikita. Main characteristic of this game is grind, unbearable by normal players but loved by streamers who play this game 14 hours a day. But the game is also famous for realistic portrayal of majority of firearms, especially or variants made by former Izhmash that are unlikely to be found in any other games. They were coming in small batches to even smaller European countries' civilian markets outside of Russia for some time, but now, obviously, because of the tragic and horrible war that is happening, they won't anymore. So I decided to make a review in English since this model became quite unique firearm now, and last time I checked there isn't much in English about it. Obviously, I don't speak Russian, but I can barely read some letters with help of dictionary. In the manual, Saiga-9 is surprisingly called a hunting rifle. Russian gun laws are extremely restrictive. I will not get into detail, but generally, after jumping through second job amount of procedures and preferably having connections to local authorities, you get a firearm license for a shotgun only. And before you are allowed to apply for a rifle license, you need to hold a shotgun license for 5 years. There is also a limit of a magazine capacity for a rifle, and it's 10 rounds. And hence, magazine that this Saiga came with was limited to 10 rounds. I heard that removing blockade requires disassembling of entire magazine and some tools, but is possible. So, Saiga-9 is straight blowback operated 9mm Luger PCC, except magazine, handguard, grip and magwell. It's made entirely out of steel, so it weighs fair 3 kilos or 6.6 pounds. Manual is also extremely similar, except attaching and detaching a magazine. But how about disassembly? Well, see for yourself how similar it is. Also, receiver cover can be opened without removing it, so Picatinny rail was placed on it, as whatever red dot you decide to put on it will definitely keep it zero. Definitely better solution than old Galil. Did you notice the steel extension of bolt that fills empty space which in normal AKs is reserved for gas piston? There are good reasons for it other than to make it more visually similar to the Big Brother. It both adds weight to the bolt, which is extremely important in straight blowback system, but also I suspect it allows company to reuse more machines from standard AK assembly line in production of Saiga-9. The sights are, well, to just call it, insufficient for everything other than short range. Sight radius is definitely too short for their size. It is probably advisable to install red dot sooner or later. But how does it shoot? Well, it's definitely the most pleasant PCC I ever shot. Recoil is not only zero, but due to weight and strange muzzle device that is a hybrid of flash hider and compensator, it literally has negative recoil when used with light 9mm loads. I literally felt muzzle going down instead of up after pulling the trigger. Of course, this awesome device has no washer, so it's visible to screw it back a little after 2 boxes of ammo. What about reliability? I did my best to check it, and this is literally the most reliable 9mm Luger weapon I ever shot. CZ or Ceska Zbrojovka PO7 is a very reliable pistol. It's almost impossible to find any factory ammo or handload. It will not shoot and cycle. I hand-loaded one that was too weak to cycle the pistol, the CZ. Saiga, on the other hand, ate entire magazine of them and cycled perfectly. Saiga-9 is what the Fallout 76 was supposed to be. It just works flawlessly. And in my opinion, one of the main reasons is the remarkable weight of the bolt. In straight blowback firearms, heavier bolt not only ensures there will be no leaking of gases, but also by delaying opening it, takes more advantage of gases that were creating while shooting the cartridge. Trigger is fair. You can feel its military type action. Not exactly light, but it's smooth and way better than the majority of all the Russian designs. Safety is typical AK cumbersome and hard to move type. This model, as it's designed for civilians, has only single and safe positions. Unfortunately, folded stock is also a safety. This PCC cannot be discharged unless you unfold the stock. So, generally, Saiga-9 has both modern features and traditional stereotypical Russian firearm sturdiness and reliability. Is it combat practical? Not really. Is it fun? Extremely. I want to inform you that I am not sponsored by anyone, and this was review and my personal opinion. It's not a product placement or promotion by any means.